Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here's what we have in the bulletin.
Attorney Bert Samuel says police not using body cameras continues to undermine public trust. Calls are growing for more Jamaicans to seek help for mental health challenges. And later in sports, Waterhouse record first home win in 3 matches in the Jamaica Premier League.
Now the details. There are fresh concerns about trust between police officers and citizens. Attorney at law Bert Samuels believes the failure of police officers to use body-worn cameras continues to put doubt over their actions and threatens public trust. This follows the fatal shooting of 22-year-old Jamar Farquharson by police at Cherry Tree Lane in Clarendon on September 15. Speaking Tuesday on the morning agenda on Power 106, Mr. Samuels said the Jamaica Constabulary Force must do more to build confidence with the public.
What it tells us is that openness and transparency is not a priority for the police force. If you are clean, then you should, be prepared to be open as to your operations. There's something to hide. It is because the narrative that comes after shooting is colliding with the videotapes that we've been seeing from time to time.
Similarly, civil society advocate says it supports citizens exercising their rights. It says video evidence, when available, is important in cases like these.
The JCF thinks it is appropriate to be so aggressive and defensive at this particular time, when I think that it is worth repeating that 230 Jamaican citizens have died so far in 2025 in operation.
The St. Catherine North Police are reporting a high clear-up rate in sexual offense cases. They attribute this to the renewed level of trust between citizens and the lawmen. Karen Simpson reports.
Much has been said about sexual offences against children and women in the St. Catherine North Police Division, where, according to Commanding Officer Senior Superintendent Hopton Nicholson, more persons have been coming forward to report incidents. For one, he says the perpetrators are usually known to the victims.
We are talking about persons who are supposed to be caregivers. Fathers, grandfathers, uncles, these cousins. Most of the perpetrators are family members or associates, persons who are known to the victims.
What is even more astonishing,
we have suspects from age 12 to 80, as young as age 12 to as old as age 80. We have arrested since the start of the year. So I just want to implore your children, do not be afraid to tell your mother, tell your father, tell your brother, tell your sister, tell your teacher, any well-thinking adult, anything that happened to you that you feel that is uncomfortable. Do not be afraid.
Of note, SSP Nicholson says the causes are usually cleared quickly because persons are no longer afraid to speak up.
Our investigators are very thorough, and I can tell you it's one of the highest clear-up. We have over 90% clear-up rate for sexual offenses. So these investigators, they don't play. They are very, very serious. They are very thorough, and they do a lot of work that led to at least a 90% clear-up rate for sexual offenses across this division.
Karen Simpson, TVJ News.
In the meantime, the SSP praised residents of Treadways in St. Catherine for their actions when they apprehended the suspect in the sexual assault case against a 7-year-old child.
I want to commend the community members for apprehending him. Not just to apprehend him, but to hand him over to the police safely. I am really happy for that. Now he's charged. He has been charged with forcible abduction, rape, and a number of offenses. And I believe that we are out of the society where he belongs, where he cannot harm another child. And I want to commend the community members working together with the police.
The decomposed body of a missing man was removed from a ditch in Mandeville, Manchester on Monday night. The man has been identified as 46-year-old Marlon Corinthian. He was found along the George Reed district sometime after 7 p.m. He was last seen alive on September 19 and reported missing the next day by a community member. According to a relative, he struggled with mental health issues. A resident spoke fondly of him.
I was the person that reported him missing. So when I went to the station, the police wanted to know where he lives. So I took him here. They left me here and they went back to the station. My friend Angie and I went down to a shop near where Marlon used to live. And I told Angie I was going into Mandeville. Angie said she was going home, but she walked through a shortcut to her house. While going through the shortcut, she smelled a foul smell. Marlon, everybody loved Marlon around here, you understand? No, I don't think nobody would have hurt him.
The cause of death is under investigation. And more calls are growing for Jamaicans to seek help for mental health issues. Speaking on Power 106 Morning Agenda Monday, President of the Jamaica Psychiatric Association, Dr. Brian Kazara, says men are showing higher rates of mental distress than women, but less are likely to seek support. Access to mental health care remains a major challenge for many Jamaicans. This is particularly within the public health system, where stigma continues to be a key barrier to treatment. According to the president of the Jamaica Psychiatric Association, Dr. Brian Kazara, the issue persists even within institutions designed to provide care and support. Many individuals remain reluctant to seek help due to the lingering negative perceptions surrounding mental illness.
You know, in my experience working in the public health system, I've seen many cases where persons with mental illnesses are dissuaded or actively discouraged from seeking out care because the family members believe that either one, they don't in fact have a mental illness, or mental illness means you're quote-unquote mad. These are negative sociocultural beliefs that have existed for a long time that prevent persons from seeking the adequate care that they want.
There is also a gendered dimension to the issue. National data show that men are more likely to die by suicide than women, despite being significantly less likely to access mental health services.
This is the case in many countries across the world, but what we see in Jamaica is that the gap is quite wide. And I do believe part of that is because in Jamaica, boys are oftentimes discouraged from being open about how they feel, about their emotions. They're told that if they show their emotions, they might be sissies or they might be ridiculed in school by their peers. And so it's not surprising that these boys go on to become adult men who aren't comfortable being able to open up about their mental health challenges.
While the challenges are substantial, experts stress that it is not too late to seek help.
Please reach out to somebody who you trust and who you believe will be there for you. If it is that you're finding it difficult or you don't believe anyone is able to at this point in time, I also want to encourage persons to go to our health centers, your nearest health center to you. They will have persons there and quickly assess and provide some assistance. If it is that we've reached a stage now where someone is very seriously contemplating suicidal behavior, then they can also go to our public hospitals.
If you or someone you know is struggling with their mental wellness, please contact the Mental Health and Suicide Prevention Helpline at 888-NEW-LIFE. That's 888-639-5433. Shamela Pullen, TVJ News. Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Thomas, Rosemary Shaw, says she will be advocating for flooding in various sections of her constituency addressed. Following heavy rains over the weekend, the community of Cotton Tree in Port Morant was flooded, causing the roadway to become impassable.
I'm there for almost 3 years now. I mean, I tell you, a whole heap, as a young youth, a whole heap of money I spend here, so to reach where me there. All the way you say go on the road, I know them do it and me pay for do it.
I have spoken to the National Works Agency to have this matter rectified. You have heard from the residents who lives here, who feels the pain. What has to happen at this juncture is something temporary, a temporary fix. As you notice that the road is being worked on, the drainage situation is being corrected. I don't know if it's the right thing that is going on. I am no engineer, but what I'm seeing here is a recipe for disaster.
Counsel for the Port Moran Division agrees.
We need to address it from the standpoint of some temporary measure and probably revisit it from an engineering standpoint, because even with the engineering that's going on now, this flooding is happening. I am sure, I'm confident that we will get the correct engineering solution, but we have to continue to advocate strongly for that. And with her at the helm, I am confident that we will get to the stage where one day we'll be able to say that this is a problem of the past.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. It's now time for the Business Minute.
The Bank of Jamaica has kept its benchmark interest rate at 5.75% per annum. Governor Richard Biles and the Monetary Policy Committee made the decision yesterday, although headline inflation dropped sharply to 1.2% in August. Core inflation, which excludes food and energy prices, came at 4.2%. The decision comes as the U.S. Federal Reserve recently cut its rates by a quarter point, but warned that the decline in inflation may be temporary and could rise again. Further afield, the U.S. federal government could shut down unless Congress reaches an agreement by midnight. Sticking points remain, with Democrats wanting to undo recent Medicaid cuts and preserve certain Obamacare subsidies. They also wanted to make it harder for the president to cut funds Congress has approved. For Americans, a shutdown might affect customer service paperwork, food, inspections, national parks, and more. Social security payments would continue, but air travelers could experience delays. Some experts worry a government closure could hurt the economy and postpone the release of important economic reports. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Anthony Atkinson.
Now the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the Belize government is moving swiftly to tackle a spike in gun violence with the creation of a specialized gun and gang court. Home Affairs Minister Karim Musa has announced tougher penalties up to 20 years for repeat offenders. The court is aiming to fast-track cases and ease pressure on the current system. The country's acting police commissioner Bart Jones also assured the public of firm but lawful enforcement, though he says a state of emergency is not being considered at this time.
Thank you, O'Shane. We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.